You ever felt, I wish I said that better? Oh, you had the right idea, the perfect point, but in the moment, it slipped. You forgot, you froze, you fumbled, and you walked away with the weight of verbal regret. You are not alone. And you are not inarticulate. No, you are not. You are simply thinking slower than you know. This is the painful price of speaking from a full heart but a foggy mind. This is what it feels like for you to live in verbal regret. Now, this is why we created the Smart Speaking Symposium for you, if you've ever felt this way. Today, at the Smart Speaking Symposium, we'll be having this conversation, and I'll show professionals like you why smart people forget their point mid-sentence. Have you ever had that before? I'll show you how 3 hidden signs indicate you are speaking from mental clutter. And most importantly, I'll show you how to build a brain to mouth flow that makes your words come out with power all the time, no matter the audience. Hello, I am Leslie Grace, the founder of the Smart Speakers Academy and the Smart Speaking Symposium. Yeah, the first person to join us today is Chocolisha. Hi, Lisha, I see you. And we're having the Smart Speaking Symposium every Saturday at 7 p.m. This is where I show you that leave public speaking for your children. Leave it for those who wants to go for some public speaking competition. You as a professional, what you need is smart speaking. You are in a chat room and you are the smartest person in that room. You speak and your smartness can be felt, touched, and heard in absolute tangibility. Welcome everybody, and let's dive right into this conversation. You know a professional who's had this regret before, who has felt like, I don't know why I keep forgetting my lines. Tag them to this live. Let them know that we're having this conversation. The solution is finally here. Welcome everybody, and I'm so excited to see you. Let's get into it. Hope you had a good Saturday, by the way. Hope your weekend is coming on well. This isn't about public speaking. This is about personal expression. You are what we want to feel each time you express yourself. You are the one we want to come in contact with each time you get to express yourself. This is because you can't speak well. And each time you notice that you can't, you start to hide. You start to find yourself in a space where you just feel like, do I really know what I'm doing? Do I really not know what I'm doing? And nothing dims your light faster than holding back what you are born to say. Listen, there's something you are born to say, and the world wants to hear you. Today, I want you to break through. I want you to reclaim your voice. I want you to stop saying, I wish I said that better. And I want you to start saying it like you mean it all the time. Because I'm sure that you do, actually. You do mean what you say. You do want the world to hear what you're saying. And that's what we'll be talking about today. Hi, Ayeze, I see you. Let's talk about the weight of verbal regret. You've been in a meeting before, in a conversation, in an interview, where you had the perfect thing to say. But in that moment, you froze. You forgot. You fumbled. You fought through your words. And when it was over, you whispered to yourself, oh, I wish I said that better. Before we continue, put in the comment section, has that ever happened to you before? Let me know so I can know the people I'm connecting with. Put in the comment section. Alrighty. Yes, thank you. So I can see the yeses. I can see the yeses. It has happened to me before. Yes, that's happened to me before. Awesome. Okay. So I'm here for you. Now we can connect and have a better conversation, right? All right, let's go. You see, it's one of the most common painful experiences there is. especially as a professional. And I can say to you, it has happened to me too, as well. You see, professionals, especially high achievers, we know we are smart. We know our stuff. Or like you say, we know our onion, right? And we know that this is something I've got. This is something I know that the world needs. This is something I want to give to the world. But it seems like it's not coming out the way I want it to, right? But the moment that matters, the moment where you need to really show it, it's as if your words fail you. I was there. I can tell you I was there. Now, not because you're not intelligent, no. It's because your thoughts weren't ready. I want to show you what happened, and I want you to follow closely. Most importantly, tag a professional that should be here. This is an interesting conversation. It's not loud enough. People do not know. I mean, today, when we posted the highlights about what we're going to be talking today, I know that a professional reached out to me and she said, no one has ever come up to say that what we say and how we say what we say is largely tied to our minds. It's largely tied to our thinking tank, the way you are loud about it. And I said, yes. I too didn't know that there was a connection until the Holy Spirit opened my eyes to say, this is what professionals are struggling with. They do not know that the most important thing we need to see, feel, hear, touch, intangibility when they speak is their smartness. It shouldn't only come when you have to work, in quotes. I was having a conversation with a client this evening, and I said to her, do you remember what made Saul to allow David to go face Goliath? I want us to pause and think about it. Now, this was Goliath. Like, they had his CV. If no one had a CV, King Saul had a CV. He knew who this guy was. He knew the kind of battles this man has fought. What could have made Saul allow David to risk not his life, the entire lives of the whole Israelites were going to be yanked off, literally, if David doesn't bring this man's head down? But there was a kind of and by the way, I consider David a smart speaker. I call him one of the most courageous, confident person there is in the Bible. What kind of a speech could he have had that could have made Saul to agree to go face Goliath? I mean, David hadn't killed a giant before. He had never. So what was our conviction that David was going to bring the giant's head down? Smart speaking. If David couldn't measure or connect the dots between his head, which is his tank, and his mouth, which is the tap, through a system that we have called smart thinking, David wouldn't have been able to have that chance. It then means he would never have been king, regardless of the fact that he was anointed king. Think about it for a moment. So if there's anything you need as a professional, you need to be able to speak smartly. You need it. And I'll show you how. This isn't about English. No. This is not about grammar. No. This is about mental clutter. A lot of persons are not loud about it. I mean, we are grateful to God and we are loud enough to say that we're the first, we're the best, yes, we're loud about it. Yes. Now, the cost is heavy. The cost of mental clutter is heavy. Missed opportunities, misunderstood intentions, conversations you replay entirely. You've left that scene, you've left that conversation, but you keep replaying it in your mind. Promotions delayed because you didn't sound ready. Self-doubt creeps in that clogs your confidence. Again, like I said, David could never have been king if he hadn't had that smart conversation with the king to say, I know. I want to even know, what is that bragging about? What is that giant saying? Okay, well, this is my CV. This is what I know. This is what I can do. And I also know that I am capable of bringing this giant's head down. Smart speaking. Think about it for a moment. I'll be showing you 10 real reasons smart people forget their point mid-sentence. Now, let's be honest. You're not alone. If you find yourself here, do not feel I am alone. I was there. Like I said, the entire system of the Smart Speakers Academy is a product of the things I have seen, I have heard, my hands have touched. Like Saul said, like rightly in the Bible, right? Now, even the most brilliant of professionals forget their thoughts, lose their minds, lose their words, and leave rooms in regret. Here is why. Number one, mental overload. You are processing too many thoughts at once. Number two, poor short-term memory. You never trained your mind. You've never come to a point to train your memory and your mind to retrieve thoughts quickly. Today, I had a session booked with one of our book bingers who is a nurse in the UK, doing her stuff. And she called me about something she would want to now venture into. And in that conversation, she said, Coach, I've actually moved away from one book a week to 2-3 books a week. And my eyes went open. Like, a busy nurse in the UK? How are you doing that? And she said, speed reading, of course. And she said, it's not about the number of books I'm reading. It's about how my mind now works. It's about how I'm now able to create. She said, I remember doing a induction webinar, I beg your pardon, at the Smart Speakers Academy when we were trying to induct book bingers at the beginning of the year. And she said, during that induction webinar, I remember you saying that what happens with your thoughts and your mind when you are now a speed reader and you are actually using this skill daily is that you can be reading a book on something entirely different and something just sparks up in a different line and you start creating something else. And she said, I have noticed it. These are the things I've been able to create thoughts for. And I was blown away. Now, the whole short-term memory, poor memory, shattered entirely. Completely. Because someone is training their minds. Number 3, verbal anxiety. You overthink. Oh, how you sound. You're thinking, how am I sounding? What am I doing this? How am I going to do this? I had a client who is... I've had so many... okay, let me just say one example. I've had a client, in the diaspora, who is a doctor. And the way he's reasoning his career, it's got to the point where he's speaking with top doctors in his system. And he's like, I sound awkward because I have this maternal tongue interference from... And when he had to come for confidence coaching. And I told him, I said, see, smart speaking has nothing to do with the way you sound English-wise. No, it doesn't. Hi, I see you, Amazing Grace. And I said to him that keeping yourself in the space where you're thinking of how you sound, I have this accent. Oh, by the way, mother tongue accent is natural. And it should just keep in the place of verbal anxiety. You would overthink how you sound rather than focusing on your core message. And I said to him, you have risen this far in your career. That's because of how good and smart you are. Sir, let's concentrate on transferring the smartness in your tank to your tap. Forget about accent. And of course, he went through a whole confidence coaching system. Now, number 4, no thought structure. See, ideas are floating in your mind, but are not framed to flow. That's one reason you're struggling. Okay? Number 5, speaking too soon. You start talking, but you are not yet mentally clear. I'm just showing you reasons smart people forget their points mid-sentence. Before we started, everyone related to the fact that, this has happened to me before. Number 7, the pressure to impress. Of course, it's largely tied with the perfection syndrome or the fear of sounding, looking, appearing imperfect. So you're caught up in this web of pressure to impress. Your ego replaces your essence. You lose authenticity when you want to impress. And bottom line, right? That's fear. That's the fear of failure. That's the fear of not of being looked at as imperfect. It's borderline fear. And once fear is in the room, there's no confidence. Absolutely. Number 8, mental fatigue. See, your brain is tired. So your mouth becomes timid. Tired brains will always birth timid lips. See, I want you to see the connection. I want you to see the connection between the both. I want you to see that your tank and your tap, just like it's connected in your homes, in your workspace, that's how it's connected in your body. Your body is a system. Your tank and your tap. Tired mind would lead to timid voices, and you would say it's lack of confidence, but it's largely traced to tired minds. Number 9, information bloat. You've read or heard too much but retain too little. So what we call it is information bloat. Finally, number 10, lack of daily cognitive rituals. You are not mentally warmed up when it's time to speak. Again, daily systems. Motivation fades. What stays is systems. Yeah. And systems is about what you do daily. A lack of daily cognitive rituals will always result to lacking your sentences midway, lacking your words, lacking your thoughts, not being able to coordinate them midway. Now, there are hidden signs you are speaking for mental clutter. If you're wondering, oh, okay, it's obvious that there's some sort of mental clutter. There are some signs. Number 1, you keep saying, you get what I mean? You know what I mean? You know, you see, that's repeated in your, we call them sentence fillers, okay? Or you say, I don't know if I'm making sense anymore. I don't know if I'm actually making sense. All of that, those are sentence fillers. If you're using such phrases, it's a sign you're speaking for mental clutter. Yes. You've not heard that before, right? I'm not here to hit you. I'm here with solution. So stay put. Let's go. Number 2, you lean on feelers, sentence feelers, like you know. You're using all of this to store time, just stalling the time. So your mouth is buying time so that your brain can get enough time to get prepared. Is it getting too hot? Are you seeing yourself everywhere in the points? Solution is coming. Stay put. Number 3, you avoid contributing to discussions, even when you have something smart to say, because clarity hasn't formed in time. So the ideas are just everywhere. It seems like they're scattered everywhere in your brain, and you're just wondering, So at the end of the day, by the time you're thinking of how to, you just say, okay, you know what? I don't want to say anything. I don't have anything. I'll just stay in this chat room and be reading what they're saying. Are you not going to say anything in the chat room? That's a sign of mental clutter. The real secret is not about talking better. Now I want to show you the solution. It's about thinking clearer. Speaking is just a symptom. Thinking is the system. Put in the comment section, please. Speaking is a symptom. Thinking is the system. How you speak, the way you speak, why you speak, what you speak, how you are perceived each time you speak by the audience, the kind of impact you make when you speak is a symptom. How you even feel about how you speak. Because some of us speak. Some of us don't even want to speak. I've had a client who told me, I don't like to make voice notes because I don't like how I sound. Now, when we went into a confidence coaching system, she realized that it's not about her voice alone. It's mental clutter. Speaking is a symptom. Thinking is the system. Thank you. Now, you don't fix your speech by watching TED Talks, because that's what some of us do. We sit down to watch TED Talks, we sit down to look at other people speaking, we watch them. That's good. That's not entirely bad. But you see, you fix it by upgrading your mental input system. Hey, thank you, Ayeze. Speaking is a symptom, thinking is a system. Thank you. I can see it in the comment section. Thank you, everybody. So, this is because speaking is the tap and thinking is the tank. Now, if your tank is shallow or mercy, your tap will sputter. Thank you, Lisha. Speaking is a symptom, thinking is a system. Okay, yeah. Speaking is a symptom, thinking is a system. Yeah. Now, how do I build a brain to mouth flow that lands with power? How do I build a brain to mouth flow that lands with power all the time? Now, I always say that impromptu speech doesn't live here. This is the smart world. Here at the Smart Speakers Academy, we do not know what impromptu speech means. It doesn't live here. Of course, it can't. Now, for a very long time, we've been told, come and learn how to handle impromptu speech. Why should you be caught impromptu? Why should you learn how to manage a situation that you can actually never be found in? Cure is not sure, right? Aha, let's go. How to build a brain-to-mouth flow that lands with power. The thing is, the moment you have this connection, you have a brain-to-mouth flow. Can you tell me that it's possible to be caught impromptu? Let me know. I want your answers in the comment section. Is it possible to curate a brain-to-mouth flow system and you were ever caught impromptu? Pause and think about it for a moment. What we call impromptu speech. Now, let's get practical. Here is how to make sure you never blank out again. How to overcome this whole impromptu speech saga. This is why the Smart Speakers Academy exists. Yes, but the first and the best and the only and the most who is ready to tell the world that, hey, speaking is a symptom, thinking is a system. Because your brain is a tank and your mouth is a tap. It's never been said anywhere in the world, and we're here to say it loud and clear. And we're grateful to God that professionals are now seeing it and they're getting liberated. So let's get practical. How to build that brain to mouth flow that lands with power every time. No matter the audience, no matter the time, no matter the situation. Let's go, shall we? Okay, it's feeling hot right here. Okay, number one, feed your brain. See, we cannot overemphasize it. No. Feed your brain intentionally. That's the word. What goes in is what comes out. Remember when you were trying to learn, I don't know what you called it in primary school. Some people called it computer studies. I don't know, whatever you called it. I don't know when you studied. I'm still young. What I learned in computer studies back then is that it's garbage in and garbage out, right? Now the thing is, garbage in mumbled out. Yes. So you need to feed your brain intentionally daily. This is why one of our mantra, our first mantra, the loudest mantra in our Inner Circle program, the Big Brain Just Both, is a day without reading is a wasted day. Because you need to feed your brain intentionally daily so that the brain to mouth flow is always there. And you always talk, and when you speak, it lands with power. Number two, practice thought framing. Now, every point that you want to make should have a thought framing. So, this is why our system is this: smart reading, smart thinking, smart speaking. So, smart reading is why you need speed reading. It's why you need to learn that skill. It's why you need to be in a system where you get to read daily and use the skill. Smart thinking is actually you practicing thought framing. It's what we do with our confidence coaching systems. It's what we do with when you are done, when you are in the speed reading masterclass systems. Of course, I told you, you joining in the June 20th masterclass, you're going to have a private community. We give you a framework for practicing thought framing. A clear beginning, a reason why. That there's a way to frame your thoughts. But first, it begins with feeding your brain intentionally. Number 3, use mental stillness daily. I don't know about you, but one of the things that gives me this mental stillness is daily reading. Call me a book binger, yeah? Mental stillness. You need it. Especially for me, see, running the Smart Speakers Academy is a lot. Having toddlers, doing other things I do, right? For me, it's a lot. So daily I have to be in high-stake meetings. I have to see before I burst out into having those high-stake meetings, meeting with team members, planning, scheduling, doing all of that work. First thing I want to do is to practice mental stillness daily. Let your thoughts settle. Breathe. Sit in silence and just binge your books. Number 4, journal. Journal to improve mental recall. Writing is creation for me. I say that's why there's a system we have in our Inner Circle program where you walk through some months and then and after some timing and systemization, we get to a point where we say, okay, it's time to create. Right? That's because I feel like a day without writing is an uncreative day. And hey, we're not here created by a creator God to consume. You are created by a creator God to create. Yeah. And one awesome way to create is actually by writing. All right? So you want to journal daily. You want to write to make your brain organize thoughts and store them accessibly. Number 5, speak out loud when you are alone. You want to have conversations with yourselves. You want to let your ideas find outside your head. You want to actually sit to understand how you sound before you get to face people. You know, the turnaround happened in the life of the prodigal son when he sat to talk to himself. The Bible says the prodigal son sat and he said to himself, my father has a ton of hired servants, and they're not even eating the way I'm eating. They're not suffering the way I'm suffering. They're not going through this hardship I'm dealing with here. I think I have to go back. So you want to have that speak out conversation with yourself. Number 6, use anchor words and transitions instead of feelers. One thing we do is Speak Smart course, which is the confidence coaching system course, and all of it is that we give you, we take away those feelers. See those feelers, they are disconnecting. They are disconnecting. You're not sounding smart with that. No, you're not. Number 7, start with a clear idea per sentence. Clarity is key. What exactly is your idea? I sat in a session with the client today, and I said to her about this clarity issue. I'm like, okay, what exactly is the message? Now, you want to speak smart, but you also want to revolve around a particular message. You just don't want to take us from this point, we're getting here, we're getting there, we don't know where you're going to. So one thing you want to do is to start with a clear idea per sentence. One idea, one sentence, let your point breathe. And finally, number 8, repeat what matters. Yes, repeat what matters. Repetition calls for retention, right? We know that. Repetition calls for retention. Now, I want to show you why all of this points I've mentioned now, speed reading is the cure for verbal clutter. This is no hype, and I'll show you 10 reasons why. You might be wondering, what does speed reading have to do with this? Everything. Every single thing. Speed reading is not just about reading faster. For years, people have thought that it's about reading faster. Oh, I'm not interested. What if I read faster and I lose comprehension? No, speed reading is not about. That's why we do not even give speed reading. What we give is smart reading. Here is it, right? It's about sharpening your brain's input system so that your output becomes sharp clear, and powerful. That's what smart reading is about. Here is how speed reading directly impacts your speaking. I'll show you how. Quickly, number one, you get exposed to hundreds of new mental frames weekly. Come on now. Why not? When you're doing a minimum for book a week, or like one of the book bingers I spoke with, I was in a session with today, and she says, Coach, I'm not doing one book a week. I've left that place. Come on now. In less than 6 months of being the inner circle, in less than 6 months of having the speed reading masterclass, make 2025 the best year for you. Make it the best year for you. Register for the speed reading masterclass. And in a few days, by the way, the early bird discount will be taken off. Yes. So if you want to maximize it, $19.99 early bird discount, maximize it. Otherwise, you have to pay us $39.99, $29.99. I beg your pardon. All right. Now, and when you get the skill, you get to expose your brain, you expose your input system, you're exposing your operating system to new mental frames weekly. You begin to think in paragraphs, not fragments. You see that thinking in fragments, right? That's why you're forgetting your words mid-sentence. That's why. ISOAB. Number 3, you build idea stamina. Sitting to use this skill and try to read daily to get ideas from books, you are building what we call idea stamina. You get to a point where you can carry your thoughts for longer. You speak for longer without learning, without losing your trail, without losing your path, without sounding like you're trying to learn what you want to say. Number 4, I beg your pardon. You reduce mental clutter. Speed reading is the cure. All of the mental clutter you're dealing with, speed reading is the solution. You reduce mental clutter. You know why? Because more reading equals more clarity equals less noise in your head. More reading equals more clarity equals less noise in your head. Number 5, you gain confidence from content. Now, this is because content is confidence and confidence is content. Or like I said, competence is confidence, confidence is competency. So, you gain confidence from content. When you've read it, lived it, thought it, you speak with power. More like when I always say that the things we're teaching here, they are things that I've had to touch with my hands, see with my eyes, experience myself. And I'm here to say, professionals, this is the solution. Number 6, you develop mental agility. You can pivot in conversations now because your brain is well fed. You know the confidence you have by going out to the welfare chat, right? You won't just go about picking up anything because it's well fed. You also want to go about your day with a well fed mind, with a well fed brain, if you like. Number 7, you speak more crispy. You're lucky, don't you? Reading improves your vocabulary, phrasing, and rhythm. You do not want to sound like a broken record. You do not want to sound on, they're already losing attention. See, this world is the world of the attention. It's the battle for attention. That's what's happening every day. There's this battle for attention. We live in the Indomie generation. Noodles generation, I beg your pardon. Noodles generation. If it's not ready in a few minutes, the way noodles could get ready, they are out. So attention is the new gold today. It's the new gold. You need to keep their attention. And how you do that is by speaking more crispy. Number 8, you become quotable. You know those speakers that speak and you write these quotable quotes? That's what this person said. That's how you get quotable. Through speed reading, through daily reading. You become quotable. You see, and Albert Einstein said, and when Dialogue said, and this person said, and Robin Sharma said, those people you're quoting, They have a system. See, this is why the Smart Speakers Academy is. We want to show you the system that is the secret. This is the way to become quotable. Readers are remembered because they say what others feel they need to hear. Number 9, you build inner peace. You remember the way you felt after you lost your lines mid-sentence? The way you felt with the regret of, what happened to me? I could have said it this way. What happened to me? That's regret cannot give you peace. You're going to be restless. You're going to be unpeaceful. So you want to build inner peace. A mentally nourished brain doesn't panic. It flows. And finally, number 10, you form a daily rhythm that trains your expression muscle. Reading trains thinking, thinking trains speaking. I'll say that again. Reading trains thinking, thinking trains speaking. Reading trains thinking, thinking trains speaking. Please put in the comment section. Reading trains thinking, thinking trains speaking. Now, this is why we have what we call the transformation equation here at the Smart Speakers Academy. The transformation equation. And the equation is simple. Smart reading equals smart thinking equals smart speaking. Smart reading equals smart thinking equals smart speaking. If you struggle to speak well, if you forget your point often, if you rehearse, regret more than results, then you don't just need more confidence alone, you need a better impeach system. Speed reading is that system. It doesn't just make you faster. It makes you smarter, sharper, more structured, and more persuasive. I hope that this life has been able to move you from the point of verbal regret to verbal rhythm. That's the goal. From verbal regret to verbal rhythm. You've spent years reading books in buses, reading books in bits. You begin books, you don't finish them with no system. You've spent months in meetings, hoping you sound right. You've spent days wondering why your mind keeps going blank. See, the rest of the year can be different. Let's forget about the lost years. Imagine remembering your point clearly. Oh, thank you, Choco. I can say it. Reading trains thinking, thinking trains speaking. Thank you. I can say it in the comment section. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Now, imagine speaking so sharply that people can quote you. Imagine turning meetings to master classes because you come mentally ready. The reason you show up here, there are people I know that show up Mondays to Fridays and still show up on Saturdays for Smart Speaking Symposium, is because you get real-time smart speaking. You're welcome. Imagine turning meetings into master classes. Every single day you come on this live, it's usually short. Speed reading short series, usually 30 minutes, but it's always a master class. Why? Because I come mental ready. We always show up mental ready. Now, this is not a dream for you. No. I moved from verbal regrets to verbal rhythm. So I can tell every professional it's absolutely possible. So this is no dream, it's a decision. And that decision starts with speed reading. Join the Speed Reading Short Break series every weekday at 1 p.m. live on Instagram and on Facebook. We're here to learn how to train your brain, think clearer, remember faster, and speak smarter. This is not motivation, this is mental transformation. And it's tailor-made for professionals like you. You're not a professional struggling with this, you're not a professional who's looking for clarity. Send them this video, tag them on this live, let them know. Follow this page, tell them to follow the page. There's always value we're giving you all the time. Most importantly, register for the Speed Reading Masterclass. June 20th, tomorrow is the 1st of June, so we just have 19 days to go. Countdown, yeah? And in a few days, the early bird discount will be taken off. You'll be able to pay $19.99 anymore. you will now pay the actual price, which is, I think it's 13,999 thereabout. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. Come build the mind that helps you never say, I wish that I said that better. And I hope that tonight you're able to build that mind, and we can even build that mind some more with the Spirit Reading Short Break series every weekday at 1 p.m. and at the Spirit Reading Masterclass. You get to build that mind that never says, I wish I said that better again. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been amazing having you here. Thank you so much for showing up all the time. We do not take it for granted. It's such an honor, and we love you right back. See you on Monday at the Spirit Reading Short Break series at 1 p.m. And do have a beautiful, beautiful weekend ahead. Remember that this is the smart world.